Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to view this informational video concerning the upcoming referendum to exceed the revenue limits for the Rio Community School District. I am Mark McGuire, and I am the District Administrator for the school district. The purpose of this video is to provide you with information concerning the reasons why the district is going to referendum, to inform the community on how the referendum will impact your taxes, discuss the budget cuts for the 2016-17 school year, identify how the money will be spent from the referendum, show you the referendum question and what it means, discuss myths that I have heard throughout the community concerning the referendum, and basically to remind you to vote and talk a little bit about voter ID. So why the referendum at this time? The current referendum will end on June 30th, 2016. At that time, the $650,000 that we received from that referendum will be taken off our revenues. So in addition to the lack of support from the state, the loss of state revenue, declining enrollment, our continued increase in operating expenses has brought the board back to you with a referendum to exceed the revenue limits. But I truly believe the most important reason why we're coming back to you with this revenue limit referendum is to continue to provide a quality education to the children of our community. How will this referendum affect your taxes? Well, first of all, the tax impact on your taxes, as we talk about it today, are projections. We've worked with our financial advisors to provide you with the best possible indication of how this referendum would impact your taxes with the information that we have now. As we look at developing a school district budget, as you can see, there's three key elements that I want to talk about. The first is enrollment. Enrollment plays a big factor in our development of our budget, but our enrollment count doesn't actually take place until the third Friday in September, which means this is where we count all of our kids who attend Rio schools. Then we receive our state aid allotment in October, and we also receive what our property value is of our district in October. So we receive at least three pieces of important information concerning the development of our budget in the September and October of the school year. Now, we've already been spending out of this budget since the 1st of July, the beginning of our fiscal year. So as you can see, we're working on projections from the 1st of July to the point in time when the board officially adopts the budget, which is in late October. So how will this referendum impact your taxes? Well, I think this chart gives you a pretty good indication how the referendum will actually impact your taxes. So let's look at the first year, the 16-17 year. So if you have a home valued at $100,000, we're looking at a tax impact of $21 or a proposed school tax of $1,244. Now, I want to stop here and just talk a little bit about the fact that this is only on your school taxes. As you look at your tax bill, there's a number of other entities that also have taxing authority. This referendum only has an impact on your school taxes. So let's look at the 17-18 school year. If you have a $100,000 house, you're looking at a reduction in taxes by $65 or a proposed school tax of $1,179. So you may be asking in the middle of a referendum why taxes might go down. Well, there's three reasons. And the reasons are we're still in declining enrollment. We're looking at lose 12 kids. Our overall revenue is down, but state aid is projected to stay about the same or level off. So with those three key factors, it is estimated that school tax will go down in the second year of the referendum. So if you look at the 18-19 school year, $100,000 home, the tax impact would be about $10 or a proposed school tax of $1,189. Back to the 16-17 school year, a $150,000 home would see a tax impacts of about $32 or a proposed school tax of $1,866. For the 17-18 school year, a $150,000 home would see a $97 decrease in school tax or $1,769 proposed school tax. In the 18-19 school year, $150,000 home would see approximately $15 increase in school tax, or proposed school tax of $1,784. Back to the 16-17 school year, a $200,000 home would see a tax impact of about $42, or a proposed school tax of $2,488. In the 17-18 school year, a $200,000 home would see a reduction of $130 on their tax bill, or a proposed school tax of $2,358. And in the 18-19 school year, a home value at $200,000 would see an increase of $20, or a proposed school tax of $2,378. Now, I'd like to stop for just a second here. As we look over the life of this referendum, the board is also looking at some additional projects that may have an impact on your taxes, and that really deals with the roofs. The roof here at the middle school, high school, was put on in the late 1980s, and the life expectancy was 15 years. This roof really has outlived its life expectancy. Now, over the past couple of years, we have put in some money into the roof to extend the life of its roof, but we're getting to the point where we can no longer extend that life. At the elementary school, the roof is also seen in need of some repairs. So in the next couple of years, the board may be looking at doing some roof repair and roof replacements. Along with those two items, the board is also looking at doing some energy efficiency projects that may have an impact on your taxes from the savings that we may receive from those projects. So just to let you know, there may be some adjustments in these, the impact on your taxes from this referendum due to some roofing work and some work on some energy efficiency projects. Okay, so as we look at the impact on your taxes again, this graph kind of shows how much new money is asked for in each year of the referendum. If you look at the base year, which I'm calling the 2015-16 year as our base year, because that's the last year of the current referendum, we have $650,000. As we move to the first year of the new referendum, we're looking at increasing it by $175,000 to get to the $825,000. So we're actually asking only for an increase of $175 over the previous year referendum. Then you look at the second year of the referendum, we're looking at $75,000 increase over the prior year. And you look at the third year of the referendum, and we're only looking at an additional $75,000 over the prior year. Again, I'd like to stop and just talk a little bit more about this graph. About a week ago, you would have received a mailing from the school district concerning informational materials concerning the referendum. One of those pieces of information was this graph. On that graph, there was a typographical error, and that typographical error was in the last column. In the last column, in the information that was sent home, it shows an increase of $175,000. The typographical error is the 1. We are only asking for an additional $75,000 in that last year. The graph that you see here is the correct amount of money that we are asking for in this referendum. So as we look at budget cuts for the 2016-17 school year, the board has already made these cuts. We're looking at a half-time administrative assistant, 1 full-time elementary special education teacher, 1 full-time middle school and high school special education teacher, 1 full-time educational assistant. We've reduced our school psychologist position to 1 day per week. We're eliminating wrestling and cheerleading. We reduced the college reimbursement for teachers and administrators. We reduced the agricultural education teacher's extended contract by 20 days. She currently works 40 days in addition to her regular contract. Starting on July 1, she'll only have a 20-day extended contract. And there are a couple of teachers who have teacher overloads that will be reduced. So we're looking at a total amount of money to be cut out of next year's budget to approximately to be $235,701. So the question that's been asked at the informational meetings is, how will this money be spent? The one thing we do know about education in the education business is that we are a labor-intensive business. So this referendum money would be spent to help pay staff wages and benefits. In addition, it would help to provide educational materials to our students. It would continue our technology initiative that we started with the past referendum. It would help to maintain our schools, and this would be outside of any roofing projects that I talked about a little bit earlier. It would help to ensure transportation of our kids, and it would help to maintain our co-curricular activities. So we have some myths that have been out in the community concerning our referendum. And the first myth that I've heard is if the referendum fails, property owners in the Rio Community School District would no longer have to pay a school tax. Well, that's incorrect. The Wisconsin state statute requires that all properties must be assessed a school tax. Whether the referendum passes or not, a property owner will pay a school tax. Now the question is, do you want your school tax to go to the Rio Community School District or to another school district? The second myth I've heard, if the referendum fails, the school will shut down and there will be no school in Rio. Well, that's false. There will be a school in Rio next school year, whether the referendum passes or not. The Board of Education will have to make some choices. Will they go back to a referendum in November? Will they use fund balance, which is the district savings, to balance the budget? What other type of additional budget cuts can be made to help balance the budget? But as far as next year is concerned, there will be a school in Rio. The next item is taxes will not be higher if our children go to another school. Well, that's not necessarily true either. The school tax there could actually go up. Our school tax could actually go up if we are consolidated with another district. Because what I believe happens is when districts consolidate, the new school tax is normally in the middle of the two districts' taxes. So that could mean that our taxes could actually go up if we were to consolidate with another district. And then the last one, our students would benefit if our students went to a bigger consolidated school. Well, I'm not sure that's necessarily true either. The Rio Community School District offers the same opportunities for our students as larger schools. Our school district offers a comprehensive course of study that allows our students to be successful when they graduate from high school and enter college, technical college, the military, or the world of work. Our students are offered high-level math and science courses, technology and engineering, or what we used to call shop classes. They can experience agriculture classes, participate band and choir, along with a number of other electives that provide our students with a well-rounded education. What Rio offers that larger schools do not are smaller class sizes where students are able to interact with their teachers and receive more individual attention. So let's look at the referendum question. This is the actual question that will appear on the ballot when you go to vote. And basically it says, shall the Rio Community School District, Columbia County, Wisconsin, be authorized to exceed the revenue limit specified in section 121.91 Wisconsin statutes by $825,000 for the 2016-17 school year, $900,000 for the 17-18 school year, and $975,000 for the 2018-19 school year for non-recurring purposes consisting of operating expenses. The key word here is non-recurring. That means that this referendum would end at the end of the 2018-19 school year. Now, this question is pretty simple. If you are in favor of the district receiving this money, you would vote yes. If you would not be in favor of this referendum and the school not receiving this money, you would vote no. So simply a very, very simple, a yes or a no vote for you. So, as we look at Election Day, as we know, is Tuesday, April 5th, 2016. It also happens to be a primary election day for the president election. The polling places will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And as we look at this year, what is different than it has been in the past is that you will need to bring an ID in order to vote. Now, there is the opportunity for folks to vote absentee ballot. If you need to do that, you need to contact your local village or town clerk for the actual process that you need to go through to do that. But the one thing I do know, if you vote absentee ballot, is that you will need to send a copy of your license to either the village or town clerk. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you so very much for taking time to listening to this video. If you have any questions concerning the referendum between now and April 5th, I would ask you to give the Board of Education a call. They would be happy to answer any of your questions, or you're absolutely welcome to give me a call here at school. Again, I thank you for your time and wish you a good day.